sheriff charged with stealing a bunch of money, lying, committing perjury, put him up full mass. All right, let's talk about it. This sheriff out of Stratford County, state of New Hampshire, Mark Brave, was charged last Thursday with 8 felonies. Why was he charged with 8 felonies, including perjury and theft? Well, he was accused of stealing county funds, then lying to a grand jury about the theft of those county funds. The sheriff, agreed to be put on paid administrative leave. The county commissioners have planned to draft a petition to remove him if he did not accept their offer to just leave temporarily. Authorities charged the sheriff with 1 count of theft by deception, 2 counts of falsifying physical evidence, 5 counts of perjury. He's facing 31 to 64 years in prison, fines up to $32,000 if convicted on all counts. I'm going to give you some background to this. In a social media post on Monday night, Brave said he had made the difficult decision to take leave from Stratford County Sheriff's Office. He says, and I quote, "While I maintain that I am innocent and none of my spending out of state line items was due to deceive the county or the people of Stratford County, I do want to make sure that the wonderful team at the SCSO is able to function without added stressors to their already difficult positions," he wrote. Now let's talk about the allegations. Sheriff Brave allegedly, according to the documentation, spent about $19,000 on personal expenses, including airfare, hotel stays, and dinners during trips to Boston, Florida, and other destinations. New Hampshire Attorney General John Formelia's office said in the release, many of the trips were allegedly visits or excursions with multiple romantic partners. The sheriff allegedly used fraudulent expense reports and altered receipts to be reimbursed for the trips. The false justifications range from attending conferences he never went to paying back organizations that did not exist when researched. Brave then allegedly perjured himself repeatedly during his testimony to a grand jury that was investigating his alleged misconduct, according to the release. One perjury charge, quite interesting, was related to the sheriff's claim that a female employee he traveled to Florida with had stayed with family, the release said. The employee originally agreed with his testimony, but later admitted that she'd stayed in his hotel room with him. Another perjury charge stemmed from Sheriff Brave's claim that he traveled to Maryland to meet with U.S. Representative Chris Pappas. But the U.S. representative had canceled the meeting. This was on record, and given him a flag from the U.S. Capitol as an apology gift. Records from the office did not support any part of the sheriff's story, and investigators discovered that he'd allegedly made the trip to meet with another romantic partner who lived in that area. 2 of the perjury charges concerned a Boston hotel stay and cruise that the sheriff claimed was for himself and a male deputy to attend a charity event. The release said investigators later discovered that the cruise and the hotel stay had allegedly been a birthday present to another for the sheriff's romantic partners. Sheriff Brave, a Democrat elected in 2020 as New Hampshire's first black sheriff, was paid a salary of $72,000 plus $11,000 for overtime. That was in 2022. He has called the allegations politically and racially motivated. Commissioners have denied his claim, including the Democratic commissioners have denied his claim. Now, let me say this. So there are people who are going to come after me and say, hey, Doc, they're trying to railroad this sheriff. He's the first black sheriff. He's the first black sheriff. He's a Democrat. You know what they're doing. No, I know what he's doing. If he's willing, look at the record. You think the congressman is lying? You think all of these employees are lying? You think all of his romantic partners are lying? You think the documentation is a lie? You think The organization he made up just disappeared when they investigated the names that he provided. You think everything is a lie? Of course not. If he's willing to do this with the public trust he's been given in order to fulfill whatever emptiness he has inside as a man, you don't think he's willing to corrupt other systems that he manages? These things do not happen in silos. That's my point. You see this kind of corruption and disregard for very simple protocol and rule of law, lying to a grand jury, committing perjury, submitting falsified documents, engaging in lies so massive that he involves a United States representative. All of this permeates into that office that he governs. And all of this is a violation of the trust given to him by the good people of his county. So no, I don't give a damn that he's a Democrat. I am not going to act as if he gets a pass because he happens to be black. He is the reason why he's in this position. If we're going to talk about accountability, let's be 100. He is the police. He should be held to a higher standard of accountability, not a lower one. Jessica, thoughts?
This would be such an elaborate setup or framing if it is that. And the amount of people that have come out against him, who are his colleagues, his friends, his employees, people he worked with, romantic partners, it's just too many people for this to be something that's made up. And so I think this is the type of story where people try and make this case that power will corrupt you. And I don't think that's a narrative we should take out of this, because that's a narrative that's told to prevent benevolent actors from ever wanting positions of power. And that's something that I think our society really needs, especially right now. And I think it's dangerous that we tell people that, you know, the sheriff did these things because he had the power to do them. It was easy for him to take this money out of the budget and go on these trips. No, some people are willing to use their power to serve themselves. And I think there are far more people who want what's best for the community that they serve. And I think discouraging people who are benevolent and have good intentions from ever seeking power, because this will happen to them, ask yourself today, if you were in that position, would you do that? Most people would say absolutely not. Not just because they don't want to and they'd rather do the right thing, but because they wouldn't want their life to be subpoenaed for all of us to see and for us to report on right now. I think there's a lot of reasons why most people wouldn't do that. So I just hope that that's not the narrative most people take out of this.
Very well said.